this video is just to answer some of the questions that were left on my life update video, because I said on there I'd do a little Q&A video if you left some comments with some questions, and so I'm just going to answer some of those. The first question is being a stay-at-home mom something you always wanted to do? And yes and no. I always knew that I wanted to stay home, you know, be able to take care of my babies and be home with them, but then I also, ever since I was like a little girl, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. So kind of yes and no on that, but I always knew I wanted to be a mom for sure. Do you miss teaching? That's yes and no. Where I worked before, where we used to live, was a very low income area, and it was just hard. It was hard to, I don't know, like every kid had a story, and it was all really, really sad stuff, and it was hard work. So yes and no. I mean, I do miss it. I miss working with the kids. I miss those moments of success. So I miss that, but I still would rather be where I am right now. Yes, right. Is it difficult to live with your mother-in-law? Yes and no. I think I mentioned in the last one that it's just difficult when you go from being independent and on your own, and then you're back in a parent's house, because you kind of revert back to that deal where they're the parent and you're the kid. And it's, you know, we are sometimes in the situation where we're like, wait, you know, we're the parent, we can do this, but then at the same time, like, you want to do it in a nice way, because you don't want them to not want to help out with the kids, like if you were to need something. So you just really walk a fine line, I think, with getting along, and it helped us to begin with that we were really close to Micah's parents. So that helps. Like if we were in one of those situations where I didn't like my mother-in-law at all, it would be very, very hard to live, you know, with her. But since, you know, we had a good relationship before, it does make it a little bit easier. But there are certainly day-to-day struggles, just like in a marriage, because like Micah and I, sometimes we drive each other crazy. You know, that's life. You don't always get along with the people that you live with. Or not even just not get along, but just you do things different, and sometimes that can make it a little difficult. Where'd my questions go? There they go. What are the bonuses? Or they said, what are the struggles? I think I just went over that. What are the bonuses? The bonuses are, like, if we really need something, like if we have to go meet with the builder on something, typically we can look to my mother-in-law and she'll help us out. Or, like, I had my wisdom teeth extracted a couple of weeks ago, and she was able to take Connor to school and pick him up and make sure the big kids got to school, and she did dinners. I mean, we have kind of some built-in help. The next question is, are you going to have any more kids? And I'm going to do a separate video on that. Any more kids in your future? I'm going to do a separate video on that. Let's see. What is a daily life schedule for you? Oh my goodness. I am just as exhausted now, maybe even more so than I was when I was teaching. When I was working, I had the excuse, or I did use the excuse sometimes when I got home, that I am just exhausted. I do not have the energy to cook. And now, or do this or do that, just whatever mundane tasks around the house needed to be done. I used it as an excuse, and now, like, I see it as my job. And which, I mean, it kind of is, but we get up early in the morning. I get up at 6, I cook breakfast for the kids, get them all situated and ready for school. They go out the door at about 7:40 in the morning. Micah takes them to school. I finish feeding the babies, get us all ready for the day. If it's a day when Connor has school, he goes to school at 9. Today's Thursday, so the days Connor's at school, so we're able to do a few other things, run some errands. On days when he doesn't have school, what we've been doing, it's the same thing in the morning, but at 9 o'clock, instead of taking him to school, I go to a spin class. Then from the spin class, we go to the library for read aloud time. Then we come home and it's lunchtime, and then I try to get them down for a nap, and then I try to do some cleaning up. And by the time I get things cleaned up and do a couple of loads of laundry, then it's time to go pick up the big kids from school. And then we do homework, and then we do extra activities, whether it's scouting or church. There's always something in the evening. Cook dinner. Sometimes we make a little grocery trip in there. Cook dinner, clean up, and usually by that point it's about time to get the kids down for bed. Micah and I might watch a couple of Netflix shows and we go to bed. And it's like 11 o'clock at night. And then we do it all over again. It is busy. Constantly busy. Okay. Sorry, my phone keeps falling asleep and then I have to go back to where I was. Let's see. I think that's it. I think that's all the main questions except for if we're going to have more children. And like I said, I'll make another video on that. If you have any other questions, because that was just a handful. If you have any other questions, y'all leave them in the comments below and I'll do another little video. Bye, guys.
You are too silly.